Speaker, sir, we are all suffering because of the poor service in the nationalized banks. And in spite of poor and inefficient service, the Indian Bank Association has advised banks to increase service charges. The increase in the service charges is between 20 to 400%. Service charges on collection of outstation checks has gone up by 233%. Some banks have implemented these while the others have not. There is total confusion in the banking industry whether these increased service charges should be implemented and how much they should be implemented. Sir, some of the banks are waiting for instructions from the head offices. There is an uproar by both the depositors and the borrowers. Nearly all the associations of the trade, industry, and small depositors, they have complained against the increase in these charges. Sir, I would like to ask the Minister through you, what is the basis of increasing these service charges? Whether any cost analysis exercise has been done by the Reserve Bank of India or the Finance Ministry or the different banks?
Sir, the service charges for all scheduled commercial banks were last revised in July 1990. Since then, there has been increase in the cost of providing services, and the banks have been considering the revision of service charges. The Indian Banks Association had constituted a costing group in 1993 to assess the cost of various services provided to customers by banks and to recommend benchmark tariff for such services. The group consisted of representatives with required background from banks in different sectors, that is public sector, private sector, foreign and cooperative. The recommendations of this group were moderated by the managing committee of the association, consisting of chief executives for different sectors of banks in several rounds of meetings spread over many months. So the answer to the honorable member, sir, is that costing was in fact done by the Indian Bank Association. Sir, I should like also to mention that in view of the various representation, the increase in service charges that was announced by the Indian Bank Association have been temporarily withdrawn. This matter is once again under consideration by the Indian Bank Association.
See, on the one hand, sir, the service in the bank is going down. On the other hand, the information is nearly 25,000 bank employees are involved in in the union work and during the working hours. Sir, the banks are top heavy, that is overstaffed in the head offices, in zonal offices, regional offices, and there is shortage of staff in the branches. Sir, especially in the rural areas, we have one officer, one clerk, and one peon who is working, which is not able to cope up with the load in the rural areas, in the rural branches. Sir, a customer's grievances cell was also set up to look after the complaints of the customers, whether it is functioning effectively. And sir, I would like to ask how many complaints are pending for more than 6 months. Sir, also I would like to ask, part B of my question, has any discussions been taken or has the matter been discussed with the unions of the nationalized bank to improve work culture and also to improve the quality of service in the banks?
Sir, I do share the concern of the honorable member about the quality of customer services. There have been persistent complaints about the quality of these services, and I have myself been very unhappy about these services. I have discussed this matter both with the unions at my level, and I have discussed this matter with the chief executives of the public sector banks on a number of occasions. The Reserve Bank of India has also been concerned about this matter, and a high-powered committee under Mr. Boypuria, former chairman of the State Bank of India, was appointed to go into this question. They have made a large number of recommendations about improvement of quality, about improvement of customer services. Many of these recommendations have in fact been implemented, but I do concede that the quality of customer services in our banks is not what it ought to be. I have myself discussed this matter with the chief executives of the banks. Recently, the banks have taken a decision that they will computerize at least 400 branches to improve the quality of their services. 36 customer services centers exist, but I would also admit that these customer services centers have proved mostly to be post offices. They get complaints from the customers and then they send them on to the various banks. So therefore, they are not acting as efficiently as they ought to be. Therefore, last year I suggested to the chief executives of the public sector banks that each bank should have an institution like the Ombudsman, so that if people have grievances against banks, they can go to that Ombudsman, who would then institute a proper inquiry. I understand, sir, the State Bank of India have already taken a decision to have a local type of institution which would receive these complaints. This matter is actively under the consideration of the Reserve Bank as well.
Sir, what about,
Please, Satyadev,
sir, the answer,
No.
there is too much
No,
staff
no.
in the